I'm Dan Galusha and welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. Today we got a Henry Frontier with us, lever action rifle, 22 LR, and what we're going to be talking about is installing a Rimfire rail mount Skinner peep sight. And we're going to go through all the things on the sights, what to do here. This one has already been done because I already took care of it. So what I'm going to do is send you to take a look at what we did. Okay, we've got it in here now where we're going to be working on it, and first off I was going to show you, this is the one of course we're working on. You can even tell the difference. See where I have not done anything at all with the walnut in this? Well, I have. I've given it, I think, one treatment. I'm going to give it more. Take a look at this one. See the difference? This is one that I have done several different treatments through, well, gee, for the past probably 5 years I've been putting the linseed oil on this, usually every time that I clean the rifle. But what we're talking about now is this Skinner peep sight that we're going to be installing. Now this one here, as you can tell, this has already got it on, and this is where I'm going to be mounting it. Right here, of course, this is what I was talking about, the dovetail thing. I think I'd already mentioned that, I don't know. Anyway, that is part of what we're going to be doing. We've got two plugs right here too. These are screw plugs, which I'll get to when we start doing everything else. What we're going to do is we're going to set up my Plano kit over here, and then we're going to take this out first. And I don't think we're really going to have to take this side off. I'm not sure, because this one I used the standard sight, the one that the OEM that comes right with it. In fact, if you'll notice here, I think I can hold them so that you can see. They're actually the same height on the sights. So I'm going to try this with this. The only thing I have done is, in order to shoot it that way, I have taken this to adjust it. I've taken it all the way down as far as it will go. So if I'd have wanted a little bit more adjustment up and down, I could have put the taller side on. But I don't know, right now I think we're going to try it this way, and then if I have to, after I sight it in, this one has been very, very good. And others that have shot it, in fact, I had the Rogalas out with me, and they had shot this one. And Lauren, she was extremely pleased with this. She loved this. She loved this rifle. Believe it or not, she's the first person I've ever seen pick this over a Golden Boy. Everybody wants a Golden Boy. She liked this, and it was because of this right back here. She just liked the way it was shaped back in here better, and she didn't like that metal back there, I guess, or whatever. But anyway, she did very, very well with this, and we're going to start working on this one, because that was the idea of this, is to show you what we're going to do. So stay with me here, and I'm going to set up my kit, and then we'll start working. Okay, this is my little Plano kit that I've got. I've got like 2 trays in it, the different things. In fact, the tray I got laying down here has got my Henry brass hammer and punch set, which we're going to be using in just a little bit. The first thing we have to do is to take this off. Now, I've already, before I started the camera, I already took the one screw out right here. No big deal. It's a little bitty screw that is what holds that down. And we're going to tap this out of here, and that's what we're going to use that hammer for. And back here's where the sight. I like taking this off first and doing the work up here so that I can get the hammering part done, because there's no hammering up here. You're just strictly installing the sight, and that's it, and putting it down. And we got all the parts right here that Skinner has sent in. There's the sight itself. See that? That'll go on there. It's all made in the USA. They got the flag. Great. And here we've got the slide. This right here, this little piece right here, is what will go into here to take care of that. And then there won't be anything there but that. This will be gone. You hang on to this, because if you ever want to put that buckhorn sight back on, it's fine. As far as like the front sight, as I'd said, we're probably not going to mess with that. At least not at the time being, because to me, the other one works fine, and I'll take a better look at it once I get it on here. And then we'll adjust this. I think this actually is, yeah, this pretty much, well, maybe it can come down a little bit further. We really won't know what we're going to do until we sight this in. So right now we got to take this off. So let's get busy with this, and I'll get my hammer and we'll tap that out. You know, like I said, this Plano kit is just ideal. I've got all sorts of stuff in here, parts of all sorts, stuff that I may or may never use. I don't know. I got extra Henry sights, taller ones, like I had said, that you can use. And I'm going to get down around here now. And if this starts taking a little bit too long, we'll just pause the camera and we'll get it out, and that'll be it, because I might have to get around to where I'd knock the camera over or something. That we don't want to do. Yeah, it's coming right out, just like it should. As you can see, you don't whack these. You take it slow, just like I'm doing here. It's coming loose. I don't want to damage the rifle, nor do I want to damage this sight, because again, now, yeah, that fell off. No big deal. That's just your elevation adjustment. And because this isn't it's two pieces, see? Right here, that's your elevation adjustment. That's how that goes on there. All of you that have shot enough, you know what I'm talking about. But that's what takes care of that. So, let's get to the next one. We got that. We're going to plug this. These two holes are going to be plugged, and Skinner has sent the holes, or the plugs, in for that. They're a little bitty old thing. They're a devil of a thing to eat. You can easily drop them, so very, very, very close, or very, very careful on that. First thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to put that back in here, and you noticed I did left to right on taking that out, and it went out very easily after I had removed that screw, of course, which is over there, and I will have to put that I want to remind you about right here. You want to put that screw back in there. It's laying over here. In fact, I'm going to lay that right over there, because I got my Ruger towel over there, and it's white except for the red Ruger label. Now we have to make sure we get this the right way, which is this way, and we will put that in from right to left, just like that. Now we will tap that in and get it centered. Again, you go easy. Don't go like you're trying to knock a bunch of coal out of the ground. Like I said, this isn't no rock quarry. So. And you get it lined up. I want to make sure that it's equal. I mean, there's no big deal as far as you know, if it's, as long as this has got it hidden, but you still want it to look good. Sometimes you have to tap just a little bit harder, as you seen I did, and it looks to me like that's pretty doggone even. If it's not, I'll take care of it later, but I got that in here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plug these two screw holes. And I already got the screwdriver out for it, because I'd used it to take that off before you got to see it on the camera. Here. Now Skinner also sent a sight in. They have their own front sights. Yeah, they sent a sight already. They sent the rear one too, but I'm talking about the front sight right now. I don't want to lose these screws. That's why I'm being careful taking them out of the bag. But I want to get this sight out of here first because that's kind of stopping things. You can see that right there. It is a taller sight. Now, Andy Larson, who owns the company, he recommends the taller sight like this. And true, as I said, you can adjust it. You have a lot more adjustment to it. But I just didn't do it with the last one. I used it the other way, and we'll just have to see. If it, like I said, if it does not work the way I want it to, then we will go and we'll put that one up there. But we're going to have to find out first. So I'm going to set this over here with all that stuff. Not going to miss that gold color. And in here are those tiny, you can see them down there. That's those tiny little screws that plug all this. So very easily can you lose these. Yes, and I have. I've dropped them, put them in there. You want to have something light colored around like that. These are so small that you have to even find where the screw head is. So, and I got my screwdriver over here. So what we'll do, we'll take a break here, and I'll be right back, and those will be in there. I'm finishing up the last one here right now. You noticed I take my fingers here and I put it around here. I hold that in place. That's why I wanted to come back while I was doing this. And I hold it so that it doesn't slip off and damage any of the rest of the gun. And I tighten it down. Now I get down here and I take a look. Yeah, that's where I want it. Don't try to be Mr. Universe and crank the thing down too tight. You don't want to strip them out. You just want it so that it's flush and it looks good. That's all you do to it. Now, we've got all the back sight taken off, and this does look pretty good in here. So now what we're going to do is to mount the actual Skinner rail mount peep sight. So let's get that done. And by the way, the wrenches come with this too. Get this all out of here. They do seal it up good, I'll tell you that. I have to get out my handy dandy jiffy knife here. Okay, here we go. Here's the sight right there. That's a heavy little sucker too, believe it or not. Well, which it would be. It's well made. And what I'm doing, I want to show you the wrenches, because we will use those, so that I don't have to, although I could use my other tools here because I got the bits for it. They come with it. And they are right there. And why would you have two? Because you got two different sizes. But these are for mounting this, and they're also for adjusting it. And I'll show you that too after I get it mounted. Okay, I cut the camera for a bit. It took a little bit longer than I'd planned, so I had to do some tapping, and then once I got it past the area that slides over, and I'll show you that, it comes right up here, so that there's actually a gap in here, and you notice I've got the hammer down, which I did earlier, as you'd seen, and I would have had to have done that this time anyway. And then I'm going to put the screw back into here. This was an extremely tight fit on this one. I don't know why. I haven't had them like this before, but it's in. I mean, it is installed. And we'll screw this down because I've got it where I want it. And then we'll use this side. So I had to use the hammer a bit on this. And then I get this tightened down good. And everything else besides, and that's where the other wrench comes in, because I did loosen these up. That's another thing. I didn't want to keep you guys around just to do all of this and do a fast speed up type thing, you know, on a I don't really do that. Why don't we take this out and start shooting, because you can see everything's there. We've got the sight in place, we've got the little dovetail slot hider, I've got the plug screws in here, and that's it. That's all you need to do as far as the installation. And now the next thing, like I said, is to shoot it. So, well, let's go shoot. So we're back with you now. We're going to be doing some shooting here, and I've got it all the way down like we had it when we installed it. I might have to do a little adjustment here. I did bring along that Henry hammer and the punch, and because this is really tight in here. And then once I really get it adjusted the way I want, up, down, or whatever, then I'll tighten them down a little bit tighter. But first we're going to be shooting, and how I'm going to shoot is with the type of ammunition that is probably going to be used in this. And what I'm talking about is this rifle isn't going to be mine. It's going to be shot mainly for targets, not re-hunting, but it will also be used for perhaps really an outside chance of the new .22 caliber category in cowboy shooting. So you don't need a lot of high-powered ammunition for any of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to sight it in with well, probably no more than a 1070. That's all going to be CCI ammo, except for I might fire some higher velocity later when we go over to the 50-yard range, because we're going to do that too. But first we're going to, I got it all set up here. I got a target to see what we're going to be doing. All we have to do is sighting it in. Load this up. I'll fire about 3 rounds, take a look, and the whole thing. Then we're going to fire at some AR500 Make It Ring knockover targets that are bottles, and also what they call an AR500 bullseye target. It's got a flapper in the middle, a 3-inch, and we're going to do that too. I know you've already seen it, so but I got to take a closer look. Well, that's not really too bad for the first firing. I don't know if I can drop it any lower, but I'm going to try just a bit, so let me do that, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, that's 3 more rounds. I'm not sure. Looks like it's really hitting in that area. Oh yeah. Here we are. Dead center. More than one. Well, it took a little bit more than I really wanted to fire, but I got some that are starting to drill out the middle now, and that's what I wanted. It's just a matter of picturing that sight right and sticking that bead right in the middle, and I put the bead right on that as much as I could see from back there. I'm going to get my headphones on so I can... There, man, it's a rumble in there. I don't have my others on that are amplified. Anyway, we got it right in here, hitting a lot in here. So for plinking and that, this is going to work out perfect. Like I said, dead center, that's great. Really don't know how many rounds I've got in here because I put 10 of the quiet and there's whatever's left of the other, and so we're going to shoot at those anyway, and we'll just see how it works. It should work great. I mean, it looks to me like it's right on. Oh, by the way, yeah, I need to tighten it down just a little bit tighter because I think I got the sights where it is, so excuse me while I go do that. Those are all Make It Rings, by the way. Well, not the bullseye one, is it? But the bottles, those are Make It Ring targets. So, let's make it ring. Well, it looks to me, and I imagine you could hear the difference when I went down to the quiet one. The quiet ones did it too. They had a hard time knocking those others over, that's for sure. But they did it, and I went back here. Now, most of the time, I would say this gun is probably going to be fired in the 10 to 15 yard range. And so I took it and I zipped it in for the 25 yard. Because this way it's kind of an in-between for them, and it'll work. I mean, there's no doubt about that. In fact, what we're going to do next, and hopefully it's still on her because it was cold when I started here, it's still a little cool. We're going to go over the 50 yard range, and I'm going to use the 1070, the standard velocity CCI. We're going to shoot that over there, and I've got a sticker on there, but like I said, it was cold, and it may have fallen off by now because I've already got that set up. So let's go over there, and well, we'll see what we do over there. All right, here we are in a 50 yard range, and what I've done is I've loaded this, and I tightened those down, of course. Everything's tightened now to where I wanted it, and I've loaded it with 10 rounds of the standard velocity, which is 1070, and just for the heck of it, I loaded some Hunter Premium, which is federal premium shooting. It's a Hunter match, actually. It's federal premium. Much higher velocity, should work extremely well here, and those will probably be the last 6 rounds of it. So you might hear a difference even in those. So let's get this on. In fact, what I'm going to do is zoom you in so you can see that a little bit better. All right, let's see what this thing will do from 50 yards. That's it, 50 yards, all 16 rounds hit, and we blew that target off there at one point, so it must have definitely hit it. It was hitting good. I'd say all in all, the thing's done pretty good. We got it sighted in. You got to see how we did it. I know it's running a little bit long on the video, but it's one of those things that when you're going to do the whole thing like that, it's going to take a little bit longer instead of doing it in parts, and I did not want to do this one in parts. So that's it. It's a Henry Frontier with a Skinner rail mount peep sight. Remember that. And all the other stuff that I showed you about, and I used the lower sight right up here. Everything worked fine. You will see this though. I wanted to show you this. And what I did, in order to get the windage, of course, I told you about that before, I had to tap this over more. And I've got it flat right where I really like to have it. This is all the way down. It's all the way down. You can't get, I don't think you could get any further. In fact, the last time I turned it, I had to take it, turn it only halfway, and then put the aperture back in because it was over on this side. So anyway, that's what we did. And hopefully you enjoyed what you've seen. And I think this is going to be a doggone little plinker. And also cowboy shooter or whatever. I don't care what you shoot at, it's going to work. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.